Hi there, this is Solitary Ronin from Solitary Ronin Films, and welcome to another random review. Today's random review is from 2010, and we're back on the Svankmajer unofficial director series with Surviving Life, in brackets theory and practice. So we're back with the crazy Czech animator. And this is 105 minutes, and it's about dreams mainly. It's about psychoanalysis even, because as Svankmajer says in the 2.5-minute introduction by himself, there's a psychoanalyst in it, so it's a film about psychoanalysis. Svankmajer is being his most kind of cheeky by appearing himself at the start for a 2.5-minute introduction. He does say himself the only reason he did it was because they realised the film was too short, even though 105 minutes, I think he's maybe got his tongue in his cheek. Indeed, at the end of his introduction, his head splits open, turns into, and his skull falls off his shoulders. The animation style, if you're used to Svankmajer, is a little bit different. The backgrounds are black and white stills of buildings and stuff, which again creates this idea that reality is fairly bland, grey and pointless. I don't know where he got that idea from. It does have a little bit of, or it reminds one a little bit of some of Terry Gilliam's animation from Monty Python, especially in the buildings, where you look back at their Piranha, was it the Piranha Brothers? I'm probably completely forgetting that. With imaginary hedgehog. Obviously I haven't been taking mushrooms, that is actually fact. So it's got a little bit of Monty Python elements, but again there's the mix of live actors but also animated photographs of the live actors, mixed with obviously real live action movement. Sorry, I'm just adjusting my camera slightly. I seem to be a little bit wonky, but then that's probably just my natural look. So the film focuses on a man who dreams about a woman. He's married, but this woman in red is far more exciting to him, and he begins to want to sleep, to want to dream more. He goes to lengths to help him have more vivid dreams. It's really about, there's also the battle between Freudianism and Jungism. Freud and Jung actually appear in the psychoanalyst's office in pictures on the wall, and they fight each other or score points off each other, as the psychoanalyst is describing perhaps why the man is having these dreams. Obviously the couple, I'll show the right side of the DVD cover, the couple pictured here, that is a human tongue coming out of that human woman's mouth. as usual with Svankmajer, there's just wonderful images, but you can figure it out if it's about Jung and Freud, then obviously there's going to be things about the character's mother, fear of the vagina. There's a wonderful scene of an old man at a mental asylum with a jar of frogs, feeding them to a large snake that has the head of a man that comes out of the bushes. Again, I'm not making this up. This is prime Svankmajer, if you're familiar with his work. Apparently on Letterboxd I've seen 83% of his films. So I've just got Lunacy to go through. Certainly on the, as you can see, Lunacy is the middle film there. As you hopefully watched or aware, I did have an interview with Craig Rogers from Deaf Crocodile, and I did send him a list, as you saw. I did a wish list video as well for films of Deaf Crocodile, and Svankmajer's Faust and Conspirators of Pleasure came up as well, but unfortunately Dennis and Craig kind of said from Deaf Crocodile in emails after my videos, and that they have approached Svankmajer's people, as it were, and they're really not interested in North American Blu-ray releases. In fact, it doesn't seem they're that bothered about Blu-ray releases at all. Again, because they say these are available so people can buy these, which is a little bit sad, because I think Blu-rays would bring out his animation even more. But I mean, Dennis Bartok did say they'd maybe try again sometime, but it doesn't look as though the Svankmajer camp are that bothered about the films being taken up to Blu-ray level any point soon, but who knows, that might change. So the film itself, as well as the tremendous imagery, which sometimes can be rather disturbing, there's lots, again, close-ups of people's mouths, which is a Svankmajer trademark. There's not as much close-ups of people's mouths while they're eating, but there are lots of close-ups of their mouths when they're talking, which is a little bit disconcerting. The film, again, it gets to the point where the man, who again is married, he gives up his job, he rents an apartment to go and sleep, basically, so he can dream. It's basically Svankmajer's version of Inception, but there's no floods or trains going through city streets. Svankmajer's a little bit more interested in somewhat darker subject matter and a little bit more psychological debris than Leonardo DiCaprio walking about in an Armani suit. As usual, if you're a Svankmajer fan, you'll get a lot of pleasure from this film, whether you're a conspirator of pleasure or not. If you're an ordinary square who's never seen a Svankmajer film before, again, it might be a little bit off-putting, as most of his films are for normal people, but there's just something about Svankmajer, his sense of humour, which again runs through this film as well, that just floats my tiny little boat. And again, you know, his shorts are wonderful, but these feature films, they still work as feature films. They are wonderfully coherent, even though, you know, at times you might not think there's a coherence, but they all kind of come together at the end quite wonderfully. So he is a very good storyteller, even though again at times you can wonder where is this going. But again, Svankmajer is one of those rare filmmakers. You know, David Lynch was another one that you genuinely don't know what's going to happen next in his films, which again in today's pigeonholed and homogenized, and every film pretty much being the same and following the same steps, is a rare gift, and Svankmajer certainly has that element of surprise, the way David Lynch did as well. So yeah, I think we've probably got one more step in the Svankmajer journey with Lunacy, which is a fitting way to end this unofficial series. Who knows, I might watch it and really not like it, but I would be surprised if I didn't, because I pretty much like or love every Svankmajer that I've seen, and you should too, because Svankmajer tells the truth about life in general, even although he might tell it in close-ups of food going into people's mouths. I did forget there's lots of naked women with the heads of chickens, obviously. Yeah, you know, it's Svankmajer, but again, it is a progression. His cinematic journey is a strange and fascinating one. So thanks very much for watching. Please let me know if you've seen Surviving Life, or if indeed you are surviving life, and what you think of it, and hopefully you'll join me again for more random reviews. And let's be honest, reviews don't come more random than Svankmajer films. This is Solitary Ronin from Solitary Ronin Films, saying farewell.